Every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is April 9th, YC126, and this is the Eve Universe Show! Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going, guys? Welcome. If you're new, settle on in, like the stream, get yourself a nice beverage. I'm drinking my coffee in this lovely Convocation of Empyreans mug that you can get at my merch store. Shill, shill, shill. That's what you're all here for, right? All right, what are we here for? Well, we'll talk. So, today I will admit, friends, that today is a day for me, okay? This is a day for future Ash. When the historians go to try to figure out what the hell happened, hopefully this will be an archive of what the hell is happening as it's kind of happening, right? We are in the midst of a new story arc event thing that CCP has given very little official notifications about. There's been a couple of official... Why is it that as soon as I go live, suddenly you're pawing it? You even have food. You have food. You have food. Look. Just so I don't want people to think that I mistreat my cat. Look, there's still food from her breakfast, okay? It's not wet enough for her, I guess. Or I haven't played with it enough recently. Oh. Ah. Does this cat, right here, does this cat look like a cat that isn't well fed? That isn't well taken care of? Look at what your likes, comments, and subscribes go to. It's great. She's fine. All right. Hi, Aikawazu-chan. She's like jumping up and like pawing at my lap. Like, hey, I just woke up. That makes this an emergency. All right. Whatever. Okay, so we've done our shills. We've done our cat. What else do we have to do to make this into like a YouTuber stream? I have to say something and it'll get me canceled. Shoot. No. Okay, so, but we have been, yes. We have been going over, we've been kind of living through this live event. And while pieces of it have been kind of laid out for the general populace, a lot of it has been allowed to go underneath the radar. And there are some things that are kind of inferred that even had to get explained to me before I was able to make the connections. So I wanted to kind of go over, especially since we're just finishing up the recent set of revelations, the timeline of events and what's really going on, okay? So this all begins, and then when this is done, I'm probably going to... I've been hunting for... We'll get there when we get there, but I've been hunting for data sites, and I'll show you what all that looks like when this is done, but... I'm trying to help out with the current set of the tests or the drops. One doesn't own a cat. The cat has servants. Yeah, well. All right. Okay, so this is the aftermath. Basically, what happened was in what was it? Hold on, actually. How does this start? I think it was the Upwell rats or insurgency rats. It was the insurgency rats in highly suppressed and corrupted systems that began to drop Chris chips that spoke of a Chemeltech convoy that was going to be traveling from HiSec to somewhere, a nullsec system in Syndicate, in order to hook up with the Intaki Bank to demonstrate, to show some clone stuff, okay? Now, obviously, with a bunch of players being told about this in advance and the route going straight through low sec and null sec, it went exactly as anyone would have expected.
Chemeltech has suffered the humiliating loss of one of their convoys. Destined for the Intaki Bank Depository in the TXW-TAC EI system, the convoy security was critically undermined by a prior intelligence leak that exposed its cargo and itinerary. The decision to carry on with an unchanged plan regardless of this leak has now come under heavy scrutiny. From the moment it embarked from the Chemeltech research station in the Orsolart system, the convoy was followed by hundreds of Capsuleer ships. Centered around the Akator-class transport ship Daphne, tasked with ferrying vital equipment and science personnel, the convoy also consisted of a small contingent of escort ships. Potentially overestimating their defensive capabilities or misinterpreting the intentions of the surrounding Capsuleer ships, the convoy started its voyage. The uneventful passage through the initial systems might have bolstered their confidence, but as soon as the convoy left the relative safety of Empire space and jumped into low sec, the convoy came under attack. Chased through low sec by vastly superior forces, the convoy desperately broadcast pleas for support. Needless to say, the convoy's desperate calls for help did not result in their salvation, and within minutes, the outnumbered and outgunned Chemeltech ships were destroyed one by one. Surviving Chemeltech geneticists captured by members of the Fraternity Alliance have been threatened with execution if demands made by Fraternity are not met. Following this statement, Chemeltech has announced the reward of 1 billion ISK for the safe return of each geneticist, emphasizing their commitment to the welfare and safety of their staff. In recent days, Chemeltech has been plagued by a series of data leaks, including sensitive information recovered from the wrecks of the destroyed convoy. These data fragments have been pieced together by Capsuleers, revealing ties to a secretive cloning project run by the Upwell Consortium, of which both Chemeltech and the Intaki Bank are members. The specifics of this cloning initiative remain unclear, with Upwell Consortium maintaining silence on the subject. However, the recovered data suggests the project is a feasibility study for a cloning operation of considerable scale. The intended purpose of these clones is the subject of wide speculation. Some observers suggest they might be being developed as a counter to the recent deployment of Vanguard clones by the Deathless, while others speculate that they could form a new workforce or even represent a breakthrough in Capsuleer cloning technology. As this story unfolds, the scope promises to deliver ongoing coverage of these developments. This is Alton Hovery reporting for the scope.
So before we go on, I do want to address or talk about the three possibilities that they just stated, because these are kind of a good encapsulation of the three theories about what is going on, right? And the thing is that it doesn't have to be an exclusive thing, okay? So just think about that. The first theory is that this is the anti-Vanguard force, right? That the Deathless has been developing the Vanguard forces, and that the Deathless deploys his Vanguard forces via the forward operating base above the Temperate Planet in order to conduct his raids and all that stuff throughout that area. And, you know, obviously Upwell and Mortis Legion have kind of taken the forefront of the defense or the countermeasures against this newfound piracy, right? So number one is obviously these could be war clones. Now, what's interesting about that is that a lot of the things in this description is about how flexible they are, how multitask, or how they're fit for many different tasks, and just adaptability, and you know, standardization, so that way it's cheap and easy to make them over and over again, all this sort of stuff. But you know, I had a theory that this could have just been a reference to the fact that we were about to get mining in the Vanguard update, but they didn't actually like stitch these two things together hard. Like when we got to the Vanguard playtest, they didn't be like for instance, the new clone models were not these models. You know, they never made any sort of like play to try to be like, and now you also have these clones from Upwell in Vanguard. So that connection was not made yet. But that doesn't mean that it can't be made. But it does seem like these things are probably worth more than just war clones. We're going to keep an eye on that. The second theory is workforce, right? Upwell is the leading manufacturer in large scale superstructure built for capsuleers, right? Everything from the Asterhus to the Sodio to flex structures, etc. And the thing is that all of those different places need to be manned. And while a lot of precautions have been put in place, including reinforcement timers and final reinforcement timers and anchoring timers, and all these sorts of things that are designed to make it so that like the civilian population suffers as little as possible, they still have skeleton crews and problems still arise. And Upwell has come under fire a few times based on the fact that, you know, a lot of their people on that work on Upwell structures end up getting killed, right? So the idea that Upwell needs a whole bunch of staff members, like they just need a bunch of workforce because they want to start, you know, manning a bunch of places, right? They want to be the primary workforce. Well, they're going to create a program to help get as many people as possible cloned up so that way they have a workforce. And there are some clues about that later on. The third theory is that CCP has been talking about removing attributes and redoing the way that skill training works for quite some time. And in addition to that, there's a lot of questions between whether or not our Vanguard clone and our normal clone is the same infomorph. And so this idea of like having different clones to switch to, right? The idea that we might have more versatile, like expendable clones that we could use for, say, an exploration outside of the ship, like they've talked about before back in like 2012 or whatever, back when ambulation was something that we actually thought was going to happen. You know, like there's a lot of like how it could improve us as capsuleers, most specifically, I think, about the skill training thing, like the idea that this could lead to us not having to have attributes. So, 07. All right, so this is kind of where it begins, right? Now, shortly after this, we get... Oh, shoot, I forgot to put this up. News. So then we got what is in Avakin. So this was on April 4th. We get what is in Avakin. And that is when we start seeing the manufacturing of this superstructure in Avakin that has been nicknamed or known as the Skyhook because of its internal like names within the folders or whatever. And what Upwell is asking for is rogue drone pieces, including these new drone gravitation emitters that are spawning in all cosmic signatures and anomalies of rogue drones that can spawn in high security space. So, you know, anything that can only spawn in low sec or null sec won't have this doodad. Only things that have the possibility of spawning in high sec will have these drone graviton emitters. But they get turned in for new and extremely strong tractor beams, MTUs, and capital tractor beams. By the way, I've covered all of these things in detail in previous videos, so if you want to go check out my live streams from last week, we cover all of that in there. Now, oh, it does say that it needs the other pieces. Oh, I missed that the first time. I'm silly. Or maybe they added it. So this is merely the first stage of construction, and there's a lot of speculation about this thing because it's pointing towards the planet. Now, it's worth noting, so this is Upwell. This is the same exact people. Chemeltech and Intaki Bank are both Upwell people, and those letterheads had Upwell letterheads. So this is an Upwell project. This is an Upwell project. So while it could very well be that these are coincidental. It really seems like it is very likely that these are somehow tied together, as Upwell is getting very ambitious, and it would seem logical to me that Upwell is doing this because of the increased threat of the Deathless, Insurgencies, and Vanguard, and how many losses Mordu in particular have been taking thanks to that, right? So, because, Upwell, like I said, they were a manufacturing company, effectively, and then all of a sudden now they have taken on one of the more important security functions in the cluster. They've effectively replaced Edencom, which is a joint venture of all 4 of the Empire systems, and it's now just basically Mordu and his merry band of technophiles getting things done. So there are a couple theories about this thing. The popular theories are this is a new planetary interaction device. This is a new gate or transportation device. This could be a new training center. Now, the function with Graviton.
I'm
Oh,
learning
shoot,
about the
hold on.
rainbow
Oh
plans.
God! Oh God!
You
Oh
ever
God!
hear
Oh God!
about the early
Nope.
like
Why didn't
19?
Hold. Ah. Whoops. I'm silly. Sorry, Ty. All right. Where was I? What a nightmare. That is one of my nightmares. At least it wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, so my current theory is that this thing is the equivalent of Deathless's fob. Okay, that the fob for the Deathless, which is where the insurgencies are deployed out of, the heart of the insurgencies must be above a temperate planet, because this is because the insurgencies are directly tied into the raids happening in Vanguard. Now, right now, the raids in Vanguard are happening on this one particular planet because of what's going on, but we do have a new map coming. But in the end, that isn't what Vanguard's going to be. It's not going to be one planet. Basically, Vanguard's going to have this ongoing thing where it influences, it is happening at the same time in the same locations as the current insurgency. So it makes sense that the fob would basically be the deployment zone for the Vanguard soldiers, as well as the insurgents in space. So to that end, it would make sense that Upwell, if Upwell's going to put forth their own army to defend against the Vanguard, then they would need their own tool to quickly deploy and retrieve soldiers from the ground. And so while this could be PI with the tractor beams and with everything with the novel tech and all these kinds of things, I sincerely believe that this is a device that's designed to be able to, like a war barge that can effectively drop people on the ground and then also pull them back up with the uplinks, right? Because that's an important piece to all of this. And I think that that's possibly what the tractor beam thing is all about, right? So, yeah, you tried Untosis linking the Upwell structure in Avoiken. It didn't work. Can you even lock? Yeah, you can. So that's what's going on with this. But, and this is what a lot of people know about right now, right? This is what this event, we're trying to find the rogue drone parts and turning it in for the new consortium stuff. This is what people are kind of aware of. However, it does go further than this. In fact, there were other pieces that started to drop, and including this one here, which seems to show some sort of tractor beam. It refers to range, in-space interaction, tractor velocity, maximum force. This thing is likely just the consortium tractor beam or whatever, just showing it off. But more interestingly, we actually have the convoy, the Chemeltech convoys actually continue. And so on numerous occasions, on the day that the Avonin stuff begins, we see convoys starting out in Onamon and heading to, starting in Avikan and heading to Onamon. And we also get this report by Upwell, by Upwell. Upwell Caldari Diplomatic Initiative, date of departure YC126 Upwell Facility Avoken System, destination Onamon System, Caldari State HQ. The Upwell Caldari Diplomatic Initiative aims to advance in dialogue and negotiation process with the Caldari State concerning the adoption and application of cloning technology. There's confirmation of prior exchanges with Caldari State officials regarding the technology's overview and its potential impact. Further meetings will address the Caldari State's feedback and any concerns highlighted. Following initial communications that have underscored the transformative potential of this new technology, this mission aims to facilitate detailed discussions on collaborative projects that could significantly benefit both parties in terms of technological advancement and economic growth. The operational capabilities of our cloning technology will be showcased, addressing any technical queries and elaborating on the vast opportunities that this collaboration presents. This document is classified and to be held under cryptographic storage and intended for Upwell Consortium and authority of Caldari State personnel use only. Okay? So, but the interesting thing about this, so basically these convoys begin and they head in from Avoken to Onamon. But here's the thing about that. Like, they're talking about the clone tech and all that stuff and wanting to show it to the state. And it is true that Onamon is like the head of at least the Caldari militia's headquarters. And it is the home system of the current CEP chairman, Akimaka Saraki. The other thing that Onamon has, hey, Brandon with 10 gifted memberships. 07 to you. On behalf of Merrick, Nick Sofa, Jin, Michael, The Devious Dev, Sideliner UK, Greg, and James, thank you very much, Brandon. And thank you for me and for everybody who enjoys my stuff, because it's people like you that make this possible. All right. What we see here is... where were we? The other thing about Onamon is that Onamon is the location of the Caldari shipcaster. And the Caldari shipcaster has been experimented with, we know, because of news reports in the lore. They've been experimenting with transporting things to Syndicate, because, the Caldari have territory in the Syndicate right near the Intaki Bank. We talked about that last week, too, when we talked about Sylphi and a bunch of other stuff. So, the thing is that the Intaki Bank and the Intaki Syndicate are closely tied to Upwell. So it makes sense that this is, in fact, being used to showcase it to the Caldari State, but it's also very likely that they're using this as cover to circumvent the players' attempt to get around to intercept their convoys. They're very likely... or it is possible, we'll say, that this convoy is going on to Syndicate via the shipcaster. Although I asked somebody to go out there and check it out, but we haven't checked out whether or not on the other side there is stuff going on. Okay, so the next thing that happens is starting, I think, yesterday or the day before, we start getting new Chris chips dropping, which are these data things, in the operations centers for the different faction warfare sites. So when Uprising happened and they updated faction warfare, one of the things they did was add a new data site. This new data site only spawns in rearguard systems for that race, and normally can only be hacked by militias of the enemy empire. So only Galente can hack Caldari Operations Centers, and only Galente can hack Caldari or whatever. And as far as I know, and I believe it was tested, previously pirate groups could not hack either side. because we did our own thing. However, now with whatever had changed, if it changed or if it's new, pirate groups, the Guri Malachim and the the Guri, whatever their names are, the Guristas and the Angel militiamen can go into the enemy operations centers and hack the can. So as an Angel guy, I can go to both Mimitar and Angel or Animar sites and hack the cans. I don't know if completely non-militiamen can yet. I don't know if they've unlocked it for everyone. Guri Commando, thank you. Somebody can tell me if they have. But so the point is that each of the 4 empires are dropping their own set of Chris chips. It would seem that that Upwell is selling this whole cloning process to each of the 4 empires with a different pitch built for each of the 4 empires, right? They're catering to their 4 different audiences with 4 different sales pitches, one for each empire. So there's been a lot of effort being done by a lot of people, including Malik and myself, to hunt down these different empire messages. And in the, we've been mostly coordinating in the ARC Discord. And Sias has, people also stitch them together. He gives a lot of people credit for their contributions. He is making the thread that kind of collates everything that we've gotten so far. So what we have here is opportunity for expansion of human resources. Upwell Consortium extends its hand in partnership to with a proposition that aligns with our mutual interests in the realm of advancement, prosperity, and the expansion, what is that word? Extension. I think that's extension. Yeah, that's extension. Extension of our respective domains. Our consortium, collective of some of New Eden's most forward-thinking corporations, is at the forefront of technological innovations. We believe by joining forces, we can usher in a new era of programs aimed at the fulfillment of divine providence. We propose the establishment of a collective effort focused on the expansion and enhancement of human resources throughout state-of-the-art cloning technologies. This initiative aims to bolster the human resource capabilities of both the Amar Empire and Upwell Consortium. So see, you need to fulfill your divine providence, right? That's what they're saying. And then also to the Amar Empire, they say, we offer to initiate a human resource development program that involves the selection of individuals from the Amar Empire's extensive population base. Selected individuals will undergo a rejuvenation process designed to extend the availability of skilled individual human resources, ready to contribute to the Amar or Empire's glory and Upwell's pioneering principle. Undergo a rejuvenation process. Okay. In recognition of the Amar Empire's spiritual and successful ventures, Upwell pledges to provide cloning technology and services, ensuring that those practices align with the Empire's ethical and religious standards, only involving individuals bereft of divine spirit. So a couple things there. First of all, they got rid of the right of sacred flesh. So now divine spirit can be cloned according to the Amar, but whatever. But you can really see the pandering here, right? Also, remember, they're sending these proposals to all 4 empires, but they're sending them, is it societal values? Thank you, Satonia. Spiritual, okay. In recognition of the Amar Empire's spiritual and societal values, Upwell pledges to provide cloning technology and services, ensuring that these practices align with the Empire's ethical and religious standards, only involving individuals bereft of the divine spirit. Yeah. I don't think that this is like a mistake by CCP. If this is a it's either not a mistake, or if it's a mistake by Upwell, which I think is funny. But either way, a select group of recruits will be offered the opportunity to join Upwell's expansive projects around New Eden. This initiative will provide all cloned individuals with the incentive to excel in the execution of their current roles. The partnership represents a unique opportunity to combine the Amara Empire's divine mandate with Upwell Technologies' innovation, extending the cooperation that will shape the future of New Eden. We believe that through shared effort and mutual respect, we can achieve unparalleled success and fulfill the divine destiny that guides us all. We eagerly await your response and the opportunity to discuss this proposed proposition further. To the state, they send, in an era where technological innovation defines the strength and reliance of a society, the Upwell Consortium seeks to forge a strategic partnership with the Caldari state. Our proposal centers on the deployment of cutting-edge cloning technology designed to rejuvenate the elderly and the sick, offering a new lease on life. These initiatives is not just I don't have that word. Is not just blanks scientific breakthrough. It represents a strategic investment by the Caldari states in the Caldari state's future, promising significant reductions in healthcare and social care costs. Very corporate speak, you know. Through the implementation of the cloning technology, we anticipate a dramatic decrease in the state's expenditure on medical care, elder services, and related social support systems. These savings can then be redirected further into further industrial expansion, military readiness, and infrastructure development, ensuring the Caldari state's continued dominance in economic and strategic areas. So realize here that what they're talking about is basically mass cloning of the entire populace, or as much of the populace as they can get their hands on, right? They are, cloning has gone through a lot of innovation, and of course, the capsule and the clone has spurred it forward, and other things have made it much more popular. And Upwell is planning on basically standardizing cloning so that way they could clone a good portion of the population. And if you remember, if we go back to the original Upwell documents, which I don't think I have my fingers on right now, they do speak about like incentives to ensure they renew their contract and stuff like that. So it would seem that what Upwell's trying to do is basically, hey, we'll clone you. You'll come work for us for a while. I'm sure it won't be shady at all. And then we'll just give you back. And then you'll be a great citizen / divine person / whatever your society wants you to be. This initiative will not only oversee the development and implementation of cloning solutions, but will ensure that all processes are in strict compliance with Caldari corporate and governmental standards, emphasizing efficiency, respect for the chain of command, and the utmost integrity. Hey, thanks, Mac. The Upwell Consortium believes that this partnership represents a forward-looking strategy that aligns with the Caldari state's core principle of honor, duty, and loyalty. We are confident that together we can set a new standard for efficiency and productivity that will serve as a model for the entire cluster. We look forward to your favorable response and the opportunity to discuss this proposal in further detail. All right. And it would seem that their negotiations are further along with the Caldari than the other. We haven't seen convoys to the other groups yet, but at the same time, the Caldari are the ones with the shipcaster that probably will lead them to Syndicate space. Let's see what they say to the Mimitar. Esteemed member of the Tribal Council. On. Sorry. Uh-oh. It's not bigger? Aha. Esteemed members of the Tribal Council, the Upwell Consortium is dedicated to fostering advancement and empowerment across New Eden, ongoing technologies, offering technologies that not only push the boundaries of human capability, but also resonates with the deep-seated values and aspirations of the communities we serve. It is in this spirit that we present the Mimitar Republic, a pioneering opportunity, a cloning program designed to strengthen the Republic's most invaluable asset, its people. Our cloning technology offers the unparalleled opportunity for Mimitar volunteers to gain new skills and physical prowess outside of the Republic's borders under a temporary contract with Upwell. See, more details. Upon completion of their contracts, these individuals will return to Mimitar space not just as citizens, but as highly skilled individuals equipped with enhanced capabilities to contribute to the defense and prosperity of the Republic. And I'm sure they'll have zero PTSD from fighting as a clone soldier for years. Read the fine print, people. This program is a tribute to the reliance of the Mimitar people that the Mimitar people have shown throughout history. By participating, volunteers embody the spirit of sacrifice to the greater good of the Republic, ensuring that future generations inherit a stronger, more secure Mimitar society. The return of these volunteers as elite members of society will serve as a powerful symbol of the Republic's indomitable will. All right. And then we view this partnership as an investment in the future of the Mimitar Republic. The skills and experience gained by the participants are resources that will enrich their entire community. It's weird. So, like, they sell the Amar on the idea that, like, well, what was the principal sale on the Amar? Besides, like, it'll respect their values. It was, it's just, theirs is just basically like, you'll be the most advanced. Yeah, skilled and valued human resources. Yeah, so this is like, they're not going to say this is potentially for the slave population, but like this, they talk about how this can forward the divine mandate. Where with the Caldari, they're like, oh yeah, this is going to make it so much cheaper to have healthcare when you can just let the old people die and wake up in a clone, right? And the Mimitar, they're like, this will make your people into elite, functional people. And then, oh, this, here's each of the messages for better readability. That would have been helpful at the beginning. We don't have all of the Galente one either, I don't think, yet. So yeah. So right now, Upwell is basically discussing with all four empires an attempt to like convince them to start a mass cloning project, but they're courting all four empires separately and individually and almost acting as if they're not doing it with the other four empires. They're not like, hey, let's all get in on this and work together. No, no, no. The Amar, you can lead the way. The Caldari, you can lead the way. The Mimitar, you can have the elite people, you know? So it's spooky, man. And there is Galente ones. We just don't have the Chris chips, enough of the Chris chips in yet, I don't believe, to get enough of the text. So yeah, if you want to go to Galente rear guards, then go for it. In fact, let's look at that real quick. So how do you get these? If you guys want to get them for yourself, you can go to the faction warfare maps. Now, there is the Mimitar Amar Warzone, and there is the Caldari Galente Warzone. What you're looking for is the dark area. This is why the Caldaris was finished first. The Caldari operation centers can spawn in any of these dark blue areas. The Galente operation centers can spawn in these 4, 8, 10 dark green systems. These are the only systems that can currently spawn the Galente Operation Center. However, on the Amar Mimitar side, it's even weirder. So the Mimitar have this much rearguard space, quite a bit of rearguard material. The Amar have 3 systems. And one of those systems is the heart of the insurgency. So this is why yesterday we were farming quite a bit to get it for the Amar, and why I'm here today to kind of continue to keep an eye on for it. So this is the heart of the insurgency, and then these 2 systems are the only systems that can currently spawn Caldari operation centers. So you go to one of the, either probably these 3 systems or any of these systems, or these dark systems here, and you look for a data site. Okay, so let's try it. In fact, there's a pretty good chance we could do it live. I drop my probes. Oops. I cloak up. Let's scan down this SIG. Now, I have all of the SIGs in this area, in all 3 of these systems, already scanned down. So basically, I can just move between the systems and check to see new cosmic signatures. And because they can only be populated in these 3 systems, while it is like, it actually makes it kind of easier to find them, because they respawn after about 45 minutes or so, it seems, and they pretty much respawn again in these 3 systems. So there seems to be a pretty good cycle of getting them. Obviously, the Galente one will be within the 10 systems, but the point is that if you're hunting for them, you do basically always cherry pick them, which is we'll probably show that off in a little bit. Yep, see, so here we go. We have a data site that's a level 3. That's what we're looking for. So chances are this is one of them. Level 3 data site. To be clear, we don't know if they started dropping yesterday or if they were available early. No one really does them. That's actually not true. Oh yeah, boy. People do them. Faction Warfare people do them for sure. All right. So once we get to the site, okay, so the site always has a structure in the middle, and it has the 5 cans, 3 to each of the 4 points besides the one you land on, 1 above and 1 below. However, there is a bunch of rats that spawn and come in as soon as you successfully hack the first can. So unless you're ready to fight all of them, which it's often more trouble than it's worth, you want to cargo scan all of them to find if any of them have what you want. Now, normally I would be looking for the encoder splices and the decoder, or encoder. The encoders are decoders for propaganda statues and broadcast and listening posts. But right now I'm looking for partially corrupted Chris chip. Holy shit! I did 5 sites or something like that this morning and didn't find a single one. And here I find one. Now, there could be more than one in here. There could be other ones in the other cans. But they are pretty rare. And I don't have a second person to come and hack these with me, and I don't feel like fighting the rats. So we're probably just going to get the one right now and then leave. Oh, I meant to switch to this. Whoop. Oh, shoot. There we go. A little cleaner. Now, these cans are like the hardest cans in the game, but you can hack them as many times as you want. I'm just going to scan it one more time just to double check to make sure this is the one I want. It is. The key is to be ready to go as soon as you are done hacking it. So, make sure you're in a place where you won't like bump if you try to warp or whatever, because it gets kind of hairy. All right, positioning here. Let's go. I have videos where I go over my hacking methodology. Now isn't really the time for that. Come on. What? I don't know what happened there. Oh, how annoying. What? Oh my god. All right, well, that's a good way to mess it up, but that's a good way to get out of it. Loot that. Warp off. I hope you can't hear the beeping, but you probably can. Oh, it's over. Good. All right, so now I open this up and I find the Chris chip and I right-click on it and I go decode data stream. And hey, I already know which one this is. So I go download video. This video successfully downloaded. Now, I won't be able to show you guys this part, but what you want to do is go into your documents, Eve, capture. So like in your documents folder on your computer, like just your normal documents folder, there should be a folder called Eve. Inside of that, capture, and inside of that, screenshots. And that's where the fragment gets saved. And the name of the fragment will be video fragment _ and then a number. And that number is its identification number. Okay. So, if I go to the brightness warning, if we go to the partially corrupted Chris chip list, we can see 81208. 81208. Yep, it was already gotten, and it's by the Amar. So they already have this one. Back to hunting. So, what does this mean for you guys? What does this mean for the normal people? Well, what this means is that there's stuff happening like all the time. Like first we had Upwell or the invasion rats were dropping it. And now we have rogue drone stuff that's important. We have these hacking sites that are important. And like the community is coming together to collect things together. And the other thing that I think is worth noting is that like this is a good way to get involved with the community and get an in the community that digs into these kinds of things better. I do see a lot of the same faces again, right? Like I see people that I worked with when we were tracking down details of invasions, right? And we're like, hey, good to see you again. Good to work with you again and all that stuff, right? So, this is a good way to make connections and get good feelings from people by finding these different pieces. And there could be people looking to pay some money for it. Not, I think, at this exact moment for these Chris chips. But the point is that we don't know if this is the end of it. We don't know where it's going. But if anything in the last 2 weeks has taught us, like, things are happening, and they're happening in real time on a daily basis. So I'll be keeping a track of it here, and you can watch it all live. You know, I'll cover everything I can, as up to date as I can, live on this show. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so that way you can find those. And also join our Discord, so that way you can tag yourself as as interested in YouTube videos. So that way when I go live and all that stuff, you'll get pings in the media channel, letting you know. So you know, you can be on top of this stuff. But the biggest thing is like being involved with the Air Talker Research Consortium's Discord, or just like watching this stuff like a hawk. There's things going on. Like, we wouldn't have known about the convoys to Anamon if it wasn't for the fact that people just saw them, right? Like, there are actors in space doing things. They had to catch badgers that were part of this convoy, the secret convoys, in order to try to kill them, to get the next pieces of the information. This is, in essence, an ARG where we as a player base are being challenged by a series of puzzles to collect the information together to solve what is happening and kind of get some answers. So consider this your invitation to take part in that. But like I said, otherwise you can just keep an eye on the videos and on my YouTubes to find out as I find out. But with all that said, on this topic, I have been Ashtarothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about since 2012, and I'm here to put even to context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for watching. Live audience, hang out. Otherwise, I do want to thank my top supporters and everybody. There should be lists below. I'm not reading them out at the moment, but I need to coordinate with people to get that straightened out. But all of you who've made it this far, who check out my stream and share it with at least one other person, or my videos, and subscribe, I appreciate it. And in the comments below, here's my question for you. What is your tinfoil theory, right? What is your pet theory about all these things that are going on, right? I'm saying that the Upwell structure is actually the Upwell fob, right? I haven't heard very many people suggesting that. But what is your crackpot theory? What is your, I'm going to call it, post it in the comments down below. With all that said, I've been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. Until next time, I'll see you in space. Whee! All right. Thank you. All right. What's up, guys? We also might have this be a shorter stream today, but I do kind of want to keep going and hanging out with you guys if people have questions or whatever, or if we have another topic. Was there another topic that I was supposed to go over today and I just forgot because this is such a big deal? I also noticed that the updated Chris chips thing or the Chris chip spreadsheet isn't working. Maybe they made some go down. I don't know. I don't know. I have some questions. Oh yeah. I do closings for the YouTubes, the edited videos, assuming I get edited videos. By the way, that actually does remind me. The April Fool's Day video is live for members right now, and we'll go live for everybody later tonight. Also, the first part of the edited video for my son's stream is currently unlisted on Ashtarothi's Decanted channel. I think I posted it on the Discord, a link to it if you're interested in that. And I'm still editing a couple of the other videos from last week in order to get them to come out this week. I'll probably hit that up tomorrow. I just want to make sure that there's not anything else that I'm not covering. I feel like there was something else. Yeah, we're in, just to clarify, we're in the Faction Warfare Rearguard looking for the data site so we can find the Chris chips. which are new doodads that are dropping. Oh, we were going through in the course of discussions. I was talking about an old art panel that I could remember being shown something at, and somebody was asking me for a picture, and I couldn't remember it, and I couldn't find it. But in the process, what I did find was a picture of basically from 2019 of an early truck that looks very, very, very similar to the suppression trucks that we see here. Oh, that is actually the big thing I wanted to talk about. The big news. There is big news today. Or not today, but like there is a big news piece going on involving the invasions as a whole. Let's talk about that for a second. I'm going to get back in here and see if I can get to the fob first. Here's the crazy thing about this, okay? So we were talking during the last piece that there are currently only 3 rearguard systems, right? If this insurgency is successful, which remember, the Angels have never lost an insurgency before. If the Angels win this insurgency, then this system will become vulnerable, and if it gets taken, there will be no rear guards left, assuming no other state changes happen. Now, how big of a concern is that? Interesting. The counterinsurgency is going far better than any counterinsurgency yet in on the Angel Cartel side. Now, on the Garista side, the suppressors have in fact won already before. I'm assuming in this case the insurgents won. Yeah, it looks like the insurgents won on this one. But on the Amar Mimitar side, oops, or rather on the Angel side, we see that the counterinsurgents are 2 systems away from being able to assault the fob, whereas the pirates require 10 more systems captured. And as you can see, there are several critical systems that that are far more suppressed than corrupted, including Ra and Mehator. What happened here? What happened here, guys? Why is it that all of a sudden, after losing 7, 9 or 10 times in a row, is the counterinsurgents doing this much better? Because this isn't just, oh, the insurgents require more, and so the counterinsurgents will get done first. The counterinsurgents are doing better than the insurgents right now, right? 5-4. They're doing just objectively better for the first time ever. Why? I have a theory. It all has to do with this system right here. So the last insurgency that just happened before this one happened to cover Mehator as well. Now, Mehator is the Amar Empire's headquarters system in the same way that Anamon is for the Caldari. But it's not just that. It also happens to be a major choke point in the route between Caldari Jita 4-4 and Amar Prime, which means when this system was taken by the Angels a week ago, the route between the 4 empires trade hubs was well and truly broken. Amar itself was in High Sec Island. unto itself. That was wild. And I'm sure it pissed off a lot of people. And what you're seeing here is very likely the emergent response to people being very unhappy of the consequences of Mehator becoming taken, and then Mehator becoming instantly back under threat, right? Because we got the insurgency starts in where is it? The insurgency starts in Oinman, and then covered all the way up to Ra. So we already knew from the very beginning of the insurgency, all we had to do is take Ra to 3, and it would almost certainly spread to Mehator, and we could break it all over again. And then it would last for 2 weeks. And it would seem that other people disagreed with the Angels' attempt to do this. And so here you go. This is the player's base, affecting the universe, the state of the universe for the next week or two. This very easily defined the whole thing. Now, it is worth noting, if you look, though, we ain't done yet. There is other options to cut off the route, but potentially, I don't know actually 100% of the details. But the point is that I think that what we can see here is a very tangible expression of the insurgency mattering to the wider EVE community. So yeah, let me scan down these 3 signatures. Mimitar won 1 time against Angels. Is that what? No, is that true? Around the same time Galente beat Guristas for the first time? Okay, well, if that's true, it must have gone by when I was like completely unpaying attention, which sucks. I wish there was a historical record. I agree. I was documenting it, but that became a lot really quick, and I stared into the oblivion of doing that forever, and so stopped. Wouldn't surprise me if Nullsec joined the Empire side, since Null groups that are living in the South were quite upset that no route to Ramar. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, so Fraternity is getting quite the reputation, both in and out of the Angel Militia, for their activities in the Angel Militia. A lot of us are really, really fed up with them. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Goons also would help the Amara Mimitar just to go on after Fraternity, but I haven't heard anything official about that at all. Oh, the Angel insurgency got too close to the Mimitar trade routes? Huh. I did not know that. See, we all learned something new. It'd be interesting to go and look at the destruction in these various systems. In fact, hold on. Whenever I seize a system back in the day in faction warfare, it would suddenly become like top of Dotland. Adeles, Uli, Tama, Aboon, Alsavoinen. Nope. Yeah, I gotta say, like, Fraternity and faction warfare is becoming a real problem. I know it's been very difficult for me to keep people interested and stay interested with the amount of harassment they provide. But I don't know what the good answer to that it is exactly. Unfortunately, they're doing, they are doing what EVE is for, if you think about it. Yeah. The amount of like denial, especially in situations like a mining op where there doesn't need to be a denial, is kind of ridiculous. They will have alts or even just themselves go in and like kill anybody who isn't them in the mining op, which is super, super greedy considering how much LP is available in those things. And it gives out to, I think, the first 30 or whatever. Fraternity is very much two sides of the same coin. The Chinese side often does things their own way, but does not mesh with the NA EU players, even in their own block. Yeah. But we haven't seen that much like open hostility to everybody that isn't them in a ostensibly cooperative space in EVE for a very long time, I would say. I don't think there's any problem with Zarzak. I think that if people want to use Zarzak to project their sub-capital fleet from one area to another in NPC space or in the war zones, that sounds like it should be considered a good thing. The kind of power projection that is bad is capital power projection. Sub-capital power projection, especially when it cannot be supported by capitals in the same sort of way, unless you're ready to capital jump chain them all the way across too, or have a second, or have a capital fleet already there, in which case you're not actually projecting. Like capital projection is where projection becomes more problematic than sub-capital projection. Like who cares if their 50-man Caracal fleet can get one side to the other? Did I say Caracal? I should have said at least Cerberus or something. That sounded legitimate. I meant Cerberus. But yeah. I don't know. I find the whole thing kind of frustrating, obviously. Although, I mean, like, honestly, Zarzak with bubbles isn't that bad. There's honestly other problems that are probably being more impactful, up to and including the fact that the FOB asset safeties, the system that the FOB was in. Boo! Okay, so now I get to look to see if any of these were good. Were any of these good? I don't think any of these were good. Oh, yeah, that one's fine. Having the ability for 100 people from a null-sec stage and coming into faction war within 10 minutes if they want to is a problem, IMO. Well, I mean, they already have to be... They have to get to Zarzak in the first place. It isn't like everywhere in null-sec is next to Zarzak. It's pretty deep in NPC null. But in addition to that, that's already totally possible with wormholes. So, and if you have a manpower to throw together that big of a fleet, then you have the manpower to find a fleet from your null-sec area to a low-sec area. I feel like the arguments about its impact is overblown because either the threat of sub-capital power projection is not as bad, or I would argue is the thing that everybody's been asking for 10 years. An incentive to sub-capital maneuvering, right? One of the biggest problems that we have now is that everyone has magical teleportation devices. And I remember when people started lamenting the fact that, Oh, no one ever roams anymore. You can never run into another fleet while just roaming around because nobody roams. Well, if everybody's teleporting, then yeah, nobody roams. So giving more tools for sub-capital fleets to be able to get around that exposes them away from their capital umbrellas, I think there's good argument that it could be a good thing. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. Nullsecers already come and meddle in faction warfare whenever they fucking want to. Having a gate from Zarzak isn't stopping anything. The goons have never failed to show up to a timer in the war zone because they didn't have a good connection. This is not a real thing. Oh my god. By the way, I killed an anathema yesterday, and they dropped their box with loot in it, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is really nice." And then like I found it really convenient, so I've just been throwing all my loot in it too. All right, which one was that? That was this one. Do you think the spinning model on the Skyhook Chris chip set is actually a drone? Is it a tractor beam drone? So hot take. If anything, I think it's the new model of tractor beams that are coming to ships. You'll now be able to see. That seems far more likely to me that this is just a representative of the fact, because they've already talked about wanting to do this. The fact that now if you have a tractor beam on. No, that is a thing. Isn't that a thing? That's already a thing. Tractor beams already have a turret, right? I think this is just the model of the turret. It might be a drone. I doubt it. I think it's just I think it's the very thing that we already got. Because if it was a drone, we would have seen other stats like flight speed. Yeah, 300-kilometer range. Mar encoder splice. Splices are worth quite a bit too to the right people, by the way. Like the encoders and decoders, decoder packages. In fact, I think decoders are worth more. Well, I guess they're both worth quite a bit to the right people. So far we got 1 and 2. Now, this would actually be one that I'd be mad at before because, like, oh my god, I want the splices or the package and the splices both. But now I don't really care about either of them. Oh well. Let's just go get the decoders. Yeah. I have not seen one example either of anybody being like, see, look, Zarzak was so bad because of this fight and how it messed it up. But what I have seen is bubbles be used to kill entire fleets with an environment, which is funny, but like when you have to live there. One thing I do, one of my biggest criticisms about the current event as it's playing out is we've gotten zero response from the death list. I really want the death list to also be interested in the Chris chips. I would like the death list to be also interested in the graviton emitters. You know, something. Something. I want to be able to turn them in for deathless standing. Whoa! Tranquilla Mare, thank you for the $10 super chat. It'll probably repeat this later. But since you are talking frat, can you give a general picture of the geopolitics of null and how the supposed null expansion might affect that? No. I am not your guy when it comes to the geopolitics of null. I can give you a couple of things, okay? So, and I will say this right now. Anybody who knows anything about null would be like, actually, you're just totally wrong about what I say. So there's that. But effectively, I would say that, so Fraternity and Pandemic Horde and all them teamed up a while back to form PandaFam. So they're all more or less, I think that they might still be pretty buddy-buddy. The big key, though, is that the Imperium oscillate between not trusting and not liking Fraternity. They see Fraternity as being the only major significant threat remaining in the cluster to them. Fraternity is very difficult to work with, and they are power gamers that are, you know, making quite a splash on things. And then there is still like the Pandemic Horde, like ex-Pappy kind of contingency that is also operating on things. But other than that, I don't know. Now, how is the nullsec thing going to affect that? Hard to say. What is happening? Why is there so many noises outside?
Since you were talking frat, can you give a general picture of the geopolitics of null and how the supposed null expansion might affect that?
Yeah, Fraternity and Pandemic Horde versus Goons and Initiative in a cold lukewarm war. Yeah, off. They're on again, off again. Hostilities. I'm still with Malik in thinking that CCP has said that it's going to be focused on null, but they've said enough other things that make me believe that they may actually be focusing more on NPC null. So how dramatically it impacts player null and why, I dare not speculate on yet. Other than that CCP has said for at least over a year or two now that the primary goal with their faction warfare, or sorry, their nullsec rework is to add new kinds of sites that represent like escalations or optional, more advanced things for people to be able to do as activities for PvE, and the ability to partially terraform their systems or modify them in ways, as in through like stellar transmuters or whatever. So, yeah. Yeah, initiative. So, look, all I'm going to say is, from my perspective, initiative can't decide whether or not they're part of the Imperium. I hear about initiative leaving the Imperium officially every few years. Tractor drones that work like sentry drones would explain why they don't have things like velocity listed. What? Like, okay, but they're not going to make MTUs completely obsolete. That makes less than sense, in my opinion. Pretty accurate summary. Fraternity at the core with Winterco. Around them as a coalition is one block. PH and Fraternity are aligned mainly in that they both oppose the Imperium. Yeah. Enemy is my enemy of my enemy type stuff. True. Hold on. You're kidding me. There we go. That should be something to look at. See, one last thing. That should work. That should work. All right. Yeah. Jovian structure. Look at pretty Jovian structure. Anything else, guys? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up a little bit early. Get on with more work / editing / hacking. I am going to be focusing more, like, I feel bad about, like, I spent a lot of time playing video games, which are obviously pretty, like, it's part of why I know, like, be able to talk as much as I do about as many different video games. So it's like, it's not like it's, I feel terrible about how much I play video games, but I do need to spend more of my time, allocate more of my time to, like, editing videos and such. So that's something I'm working on this week in particular. No, it wouldn't obsolete MTUs, but would it make algos better for salvaging maybe? Yeah, it would absolutely obsolete MTUs, because it'd be an MTU that doesn't have an anchor timer. No problem, Tranquilla. And if you like all of the information that I provide, make sure to like the stream. Thank you guys for checking out the whole thing. Share it with other people, because that's how we help elevate the literacy in EVE Online. And that's what we're here to do, is to help maximize player engagement with EVE Online. What'd I do, Danny? Oh, I said meat. I watched some Insum, and I was like, man, I should go hardcore. So, but if they require like 25 bandwidth, there'd be a big combat disadvantage to fitting them. I mean, yeah, you're right, but what I'm saying about it is from like a business money standpoint. We have what is your new thing that you want to do? Well, we want to make a drone that basically replicates what a mobile tractor unit does. Why? You see what I that's why I push back against it. Just because it seems weird from like a business standpoint. Like somebody signing off on it. But yeah. Feel free to throw it down in the comments below in this from the video. Then when you're right, then I'll look silly. Old player, who should I look towards joining outside of the null blocks? There's actually quite a few good people nowadays. It really depends on what you want to do. The Convocation of Empyreans, my group, is, of course, always open. And you can join us and find a better, another place if you find somebody who focuses more on what you're wanting to be doing. I can't really tell you where I could send you without you telling me what you're interested in. I would say if you're wanting to get in slowly, I mean, selfish plug, but that's kind of exactly what the convocation is for. So you could feel free to come in, use our services, ask us whatever, fly with us, request fleets, whatever. In fact, if you guys want to join the Convocation of Empyreans and help maximize player engagement with EVE Online and fly in space with me, you can. Homefronts and faction warfare are great ways to get back into the game with cheap ships. That's true. But also, if you are coming back, or if you haven't used a buddy code before, you've never gotten your free SP, use the link that is in the description or in chat here now-ish. There it is on my time. But use that link, and it will send you to a place where you can log in with your EVE. It's a CCP site. You log in with your EVE account, and you get 1 million free SP. Basically, you can have it's a referral program where anybody who uses somebody's referral code gets 1 million free SP. However, I've already gotten so many that I have a special website that basically you go to that site and it redirects you to one of my staff members or people that help make the convocation possible or this show possible, and sends you to their link. So that way to spread the wealth around. If you want to help out with the angels, correct. If you want to help out with the insurgencies, the Invited is recruiting, and we have ships on contract and advice, and you can come fly with me. That's true. New groups can form up around new content. Like sedition wasn't even a thing just a few years ago. I mean, really pre-uprising. Yep. Convocation is mining ops, home fronts, standing fleets, abyss, missions. We have the Invited, our sister group for faction warfare, Lee stuff. We've got projects, whatever you need. Like now you can we've got projects that are asking for stuff, so you can turn it in and get paid directly from the corp. And we recognize our top contributors every month, etc., etc. But this wasn't supposed to be a giant advertisement for the Convocation Empyreans, but it is a great place. You should come hang out with me because I'm a nice person. But I think that should about cover it for the day. That's once I'm getting that far into shilling, it probably means I don't have any other topics. Struggling pulling level 4s. It's true. I will, for you, just for you, my viewer, I will pull 1 level 4 and then get 2 ones that send me to Amar right away, and therefore not be able to pull missions anymore. And I will do that for you. I promise. All right, no. Main experience with the game was subcap PvP. Had a few accounts I've recovered mainly. To be honest, I'd probably be looking to explore areas of the game I never messed with in depth. Honestly, dude, just get back. Here's what I would do. Here's my advice for you, all right? Make a new account, okay? Use your own buddy code, right? Just like I was talking about. So if you have an account now, go to your account management page, find your referral link, get that referral link, use it to make a new account, all right? With that new account, go through the new MPE and all of the career agents, okay? That is going to be kind of your primer. Now, the career agents, if are going to be familiar to you, they are a little bit revamped. They're prettier. There's a couple of little like special effects that are new, But by and large, it should be very familiar to you if you've done the career agents before. The MPE before the career agents is very new and kind of interesting. So then by that point, you will actually like be able to be set up to start checking things out. Now you can return to your previous account if you want to, or run them both in tandem, whatever you want to do, right? But then what you want to do is go into your Neocom and then into activities and go to the Air Career Program. Now, the Air Career Program, you're going to be working on this while you're doing the career agents too. In fact, you can do the career agents again on your main account, which is not a bad idea for some standings, and complete these tasks, right? So you've got an industrial career path, an enforcer career path, an explorer career path, and a soldier of fortune career path. Enforcer's like PvE, soldier of fortune's more PvP, right? So each of these have different tasks, and as you do the different tasks, you earn points, and if you get enough points, you can earn XP and skins, okay? So it's just, none of these are too hard, but if you just want to explore the different systems of the game as you're kind of finding your feet again, working your way through the Air Career Program is a really good idea. From there, that's when you can start. You can also look into your opportunities window. This replaces somewhat of the agencies. It gives you your daily goals that give you very simple tasks for you to do every day, including destroying 25 non-capsuleers, scanning 5 signatures, manufacturing any item, and damaging another capsuleer. If you do any 2 of them, you get 10,000 skill points every day. And then there are also the combat anomalies and such, but there is the home fronts, which is if you go to the chat channel. If you open up chat and you hit this plus here and you type in home front operations, which just to make sure I spell it out correctly, I'm going to look it up. Operations. And you hop into here. This channel has all kinds of fits and guides and is a place where people recruit. The nice thing about home fronts is that it requires very simple equipment that's pretty standardized, and a lot of people have extras of that do home fronts. But most importantly, it's good ISK. But most importantly, it requires 5 people. So people want you, if for no other reason, just to fill up their roster so that way they can get maximum payout too. So that's all great ways of kind of getting involved and getting engaged. But beyond that, you can join the Convocation of Empyreans. You can join Faction Warfare. There's all kinds of different things to do. But watching the stream and going through my backlogs and my training videos, including my fitting mastering guide, master the overview, these kinds of things, those could also be very useful to you. But yeah, I hope that helps. Yeah, Bad Boy, if you are just coming in now, I don't know when you came in, but if you might have missed like us talking about the timeline of the events, things that's playing out. But yeah. One last chance. Oh man, did I have a question for Satonia while I had him here? Oh, yeah, Satonia, you want to just give me a knowledge from on high? Can anyone hack the cans in operation centers now, or did you make it so that pirates can now hack cans in operation centers, or could pirates always can't hack cans in operation centers and I'm just silly? That's the answer I want. The question I want. I mean, that's the answer to the question that I want. Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll answer before I finish or I close up. But with all that said, I gave the shtick earlier, but I've been asked. Oh, pirates can pack both factions there with neutrals can still can't hack any of them. Okay, well, I know at least that much. But I thought that pirates couldn't hack both factions prior to this. Either way, I've been Astronauthy. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put even context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. I should see you on Thursday, but if I say that for sure, by God, I won't be able to. But, you know, with all that failing, I have been Astronauthy, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space. Like the stream!
Bring on the wrecking machine. Every city you burn, I'm gonna build.
Hold on. I gotta just tell you guys. I gotta just tell you guys 1 second. 1 second. I don't want to stop the video. But something fucking incredible just happened. So as I was getting, I was like, oh shit, like I'm on grid with this stellar transmuter, or not the stellar transmuter, but on the Jovian Observatory. I should probably get out of here. It was kind of ballsy for me to be there. And like, so I hit F9 and I see that, oh yeah, in fact, there are 3 Autothisian Lancers on grid with me right now. Yeah, I should probably leave. And like, literally, as I'm thinking these thoughts, your cloak has been deactivated due to proximity, blah, 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 blah. And so I immediately warp and I get off before the Autothisian Lancers can grab me or anybody else can back up. But like, I wasn't watching for the longest time. Like, literally, the second I start paying attention again, my cloak fails. Oh my God, that was close. All right, let's keep going.
Bring on the wrecking machine, setting your dreams of heaven on fire. Bring on the wrecking machine. Bring on the wrecking machine. Bring on the wrecking machine. Gonna ignite your every desire. Bring on the wrecking machine. For every city you burn, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. For every city